guys, welcome to Market Uncharted. Today a really special video, really excited. We are going to talk about the silver. Exactly, we are going to discuss the silver squeeze that's going to happen right now. As we speak, silver is breaking out the $30 price range and we have been really excited about this. I think we have some special trading right here on this week and the next few weeks. But before all of this, I want you to give an overview and understand what's going on here. What is silver? How is it working as a precious metal? What impacts silver? And most of all, what is this silver fundamentals and the big silver short squeeze that everyone is talking about, especially being potentiated by the Wall Street bets. I'm sure you already seen this in Facebook, Twitter, etc. This is a really wave of information right now. But first, let's take a minute and go step by step, understand what's going on and how can we take advantage. It's important to understand that this is not financial advisor. I'm just here giving my opinions and thoughts about what's going on in the market, and I hope you like the video. All right, what is silver? Silver is a precious metal commonly used in the production of jewelry, coins, etc. It's really important for investments, it's really important for the industry, and we have many silver companies own and operate their own mines where they mine for silver and other precious metals. We are going to discuss also a few examples of miners. Then we can, as investors and traders, buy silver through the commodities market. Common commodities markets for precious metals exist in Japan, London, Europe, and the United States, so it's a 24-hour possibility of investing. Individuals can buy silver in bars, coins, and bullion. And most important, investors can also purchase assets that are backed by the precious metal without having to hold the actual commodity, such as ETFs, stock in silver companies, or mutual funds. So this is how we can invest. Then important to understand also what impacts silver. Silver prices moved based on a variety of factors including supply and demand, inflation, and the strength of the dollar. Prices rise when the supplies are low, pushing up demand from consumers and manufacturers. When the dollar weakens, investors begin to look to more stable investments like precious metals, such as silver, and a safe place to park their cash. And again, why this overview that ends in this possibility of a really strong breakout in the short squeeze? Because as you know, for many years now, central banks are collectively stepped in quantitative easing, pushing a lot of money into the markets. In this graph, we can see the Fed and the European Central Bank balance sheet, a huge increase of injections of money in the market. Also, historically, the truth is silver market is in deficit, which means we have more demand than actually supply. 2020 physical supply was the lowest in a decade, and this is really important. Also, so far, January 2021, silver investment demand reached 60 million ounces, a really record. Actual production will be even lower this year due to the COVID-19 or the situation that shut down a few miners, slowed down the production. Therefore, as you can see, we have a huge demand, but the production is not there, the supply. Then it's important to understand also that during the past week, silver ETF SLV saw inflows of almost 1 billion on Friday, 29th of January, almost double the previous record inflow for this 50-year-old ETF. You can see in the right of the graph a huge increase. This happened after Wall Street bets came with the news that this would be the next asset to be influenced by them, that a possibility of a short squeeze of $1,000 per ounce. Therefore, the markets moved really quickly, and the last week and the last weekend was really crazy. We never saw this so much demand across the world. Also important to realize the connection and the correlation between silver and gold. SLV volume was 10 times GLD, which is the gold ETF, and this happens last Friday. Never happened before, ladies and gentlemen. Again, on the right, you can see in blue, the silver, in orange, the gold, and you can see a huge spike. And besides the short supply, besides the huge demand, besides Wall Street bets giving the interest of buying, we have also an increased short interest by the big banks and the market volatility, which means not only we have the two previous conditions, now we see a short interest by the big banks and increased volatility in the beginning of this year. And we had the news during this week that 9.8 million silver ounces were shorted. In this week, COT report, the big 8 traders are short 30,887.8 million troy ounces compared to the 30,708 million they were short last week's report, an increase of 9.8 million troy ounces over the reporting week. This was given the information by Ed Steer, so you can see how the big banks were shorted in silver as well, especially in the ticker SLV ETF for silver. Again, in the graph you can see the huge spike on shorts, and also important to understand the seasonality of the asset, which historically silver seasonality is also helping a run on January and February. So you can see all the conditions were gathered. Then comes Wall Street bets with a few guidelines that say how can we reach the $1,000 easy. Just go buy physical silver, just go long on futures, and just buy shares on the miners or the ETFs themselves. These were the guidelines provided on Reddit. And what happened during the past weekend was a huge demand across the world. And you can see here again just a graph to understand the gap up on silver that we are experiencing today, Monday, after what Wall Street bets said to do. And we are going to see also a few technical analysis and the conditions. You can see here also another graph with the market reaction. This was already on Friday, the market reaction on close after the guidelines were posted, $21. And then you can see here, and this is more on the technical analysis part, the formation being constructed, a camp and handle with a projection to around $400, which I mean it's a really huge increase. Of course, we never in technical analysis projections, it's just an idea. It doesn't mean it goes directly there. But the important thing to remind ourselves is that silver is on a bullish momentum, no doubt. Here you can see also head and shoulders floor. You can see that if you remember also the Tesla graph from 2014 until 2020, when the prices are really stable, usually means that we can have a strong breakout. Silver is breaking today the $30 stance. If he reaches to that point, we can have a huge increase on the next few days. Again, another graph that said the last time we had a silver short squeeze, you can see the momentum was around 434% uptrend, and now we are expecting again a few of the same behavior. The most important to understand is that the injections of money that were done on 2008 was 1 trillion by the Fed. Right now we have 3.2 trillion to push this precious metals price all the way up, so we can breach new all-time highs, and we can see silver really high in the next few weeks. And just to also understand, if you want to really understand and research the silver fundamentals, I recommend to read this book, The Big Silver Short. It gives you all the idea about the inflation impact, the injections of money, and all the idea what was around here. Also mentioned JP Morgan, that was one of the big players that were manipulating the precious metal market, and I think is really important for us to read. Important also to understand during the weekend what happened. Bloomberg really points out the overwhelmed retail sites that were saying that the physical demand was crazy. So you see today, Monday, a really increase on the ETFs backed by physical precious metals in relations, for example, for the SLV, which also goes up, but not that much, because we can see here the difference is that The impact is directly on the physical exchange of the precious metal, and Bloomberg is highlighting this. This is a huge demand. So the perfect storm is gathered, and what are the conditions? Let's revise all the conditions so we understand all the big impacts that silver can have. First, major inflows of cash into the market with the quantitative easing, bank manipulation over the years, pressing the prices down, hiding real inflation, shortage of supply in silver, buys of physical silver, not just only traded products, which means physical, not only the paper products, the silver seasonality that helps January and February, huge short interest in silver, especially in the ETF SLV, the market volatility that we have been seeing for the last few weeks, and of course, Wall Street bets defining the target for pushing SLV price all the way up. And if you ask me, where can we invest in this the perfect storm? These are the tradable products. Again, this is not financial advisor, just give you a few ideas. You either can go on ETFs or options, or directly investing in the shares of the miners, or in CFDs through the SHAG USD. Again, today open up in the futures of the silver $30 was a huge increase. Also see a huge increase on the 24-hour spot silver beat. You see in green the huge opening in the market with a gap up around $28. And then this is also important to understand because the shortage of supply can have an impact on these two ETFs, because SLV is not backed by physical silver, PSLV is. And you see here on the graph, I put it both on the same side. They usually move together, but the truth is, at some point with the shortage of silver, you need to do a really research to understand how much one can go above the other, because the exchange of silver actually imports. And also just here to show you SLV, the gap up is truly amazing. And also first Majestic Silver Corporations that open with a huge gap up. It has been closed at $18, had a huge impact opening at 23. So you can see here a huge gap up around 20% on ticker AG First Majestic Silver, which is one of the companies that you can invest to be exposed to this short squeeze in silver. And just a little close up on the graph, so you can see a huge spike here. It's clearly to understand on the opening price. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this video. This is important to understand. The silver short squeeze is one of the biggest events in the market from the last 50 years. But be careful out there. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential power. Execution is everything. But thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please subscribe our channel, and I'll see you next time. And don't forget, just like the markets, we will not rest.